We're just learning from Herman Cain himself that a third woman is about to make some serious accusations. What can you tell us about this third woman?
I need a lover that won't call a press conference.
Here we go again.
I need a lover that won't call a press
We're trying to run a campaign.
I need a lover that won't call a press conference.
Here we go again.
I need a lover that won't call a press conference.
Look, I can't control people who are going to make a decision based upon accusations.
Mike and Raleigh did this mashup. This is great. What a hoot. Thank you. Just very quickly, this is what happens when Herman Cain was accused of sexual harassment, a crime against women, for which he settled for $80,000, which is generally considered an admission of guilt, or at least of something. Here's Dick Morris, clip number 1.
This is ridiculous. I mean, this woman is in search of money. This woman has been unemployed for 13 years, and this is apparently payday.
It's attack the victim. Here's clip number 2 at Dick Morris.
You'd have to believe that Herman Cain is a serious, almost imprisonable sexual predator to believe these charges.
Yeah, well, he paid $80,000. Clip number 3. Here's Dick Hannity, or Sean Hannity and Dick Morris talking about, and keep in mind, Dick Morris is the guy who was thrown out of the Clinton administration because he hired a hooker and he wanted to suck on her toes, and he paid for it with a check. And the check became public, and the whole thing became public, and so he got bounced out of the Clinton administration. Now that, again, in this city, and I think pretty much every place else in the United States, hiring a hooker is a crime. You could argue whether or not it's a crime against women, but it's a crime, and that's what Dick Morris was charged with. And so here's Dick being a little odd.
Well, that's always a possibility that she's not going to sue, so it's not going to be a lawsuit.
I look forward to her spread in Playboy.
Yeah, that's Dick Morris. So the question, what is it about the Republican base that embraces this? I just find this fascinating. Jim, it says you're a Newt Gingrich supporter.
Yes. Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm fine. So what's up? Go ahead.
Well, Gingrich, I don't know Gingrich from the previous years, but I've been listening to him since he started running, and I really like what he has to say. Mm-hmm. But I'm really getting tired. I'm seriously concerned. I'm seriously concerned about this tabloid-style tone on both sides of the aisle. We have some serious problems, and we really need a serious debate.
Right.
Let's have a clean debate between the ideas of Gingrich, let's say, if he's the nominee, and the idea of Obama, very clean, without digging dirt and you divorce your wife and the Tiffany account and all that nonsense.
Sure.
And let the people decide. I like this ideology. No, I like this ideology, and let the people vote. But the media is not, on both sides, is not helping this process to stay honest.
No, and Jim, you're being an absolute idealist. First of all, but to the larger question, because the media, if it's about sex, the media is going to talk about it. There's just no way around that. But what I'm curious about is, why do you think that the Republican base says, when one of their candidates is accused of sexual assault or sexual harassment, accused of crimes against women, that the Republican base rallies to their defense to the point of actually attacking the woman repeatedly in national television? Whereas when the candidate is accused of having a loving, consensual affair, suddenly the Republican base wants to turn and run.
Well, I see this kind of indecent bias from both sides of the fence, to be honest. If it happened to be a Republican candidate, then the right media will defend him. If it's a left-wing candidate like this guy Weiner, they attacked him.
Weiner was weird. Weiner was weird, but he wasn't about having just a normal consensual affair. He was tweeting pictures of yourself to people who you don't know, who might even be kids. I mean, that's weird. But right. For example, Jack Kennedy was having sex all over the place. Nobody thought twice about it. Nobody said anything. Teddy Kennedy had apparently a number of affairs. A woman died in his car. I mean, the Democrats kind of shrugged that off. Oh, it's an affair. It's not like he was beating her up, or it's not like he was forcing her to have sex with him in exchange for a job. I don't understand why Republicans would support, and so I think that the Democrats in general have a higher tolerance for the private lives of their candidates, until they become truly bizarre.
How can you say that? How can you say that? The Democrats are attacking Kaine on these allegations before even they're proven. I mean, these attacks are.
I'm not hearing Democrats attacking him on this. I'm hearing Republicans attacking him on it, and that's what I'm confused about. I mean, when it was an allegation of a crime against multiple women, of an actual legal crime, sexual harassment, then all the Republicans were defending Herman Cain. When it was an allegation of something that is not a crime, it is not against the law anymore in the United States, in any state, to the best of my knowledge, to have an affair outside of marriage. And about 60% of men and about 40% of women have done so, married people. That, however, has pushed the Republican electorate over the edge. I don't get it.
Well, the reason is that's what I'm telling you. There's biased, sharp debate in the country on both sides of the aisle, and if we can help get out of it through programs like you. I disagree with your views tremendously, but I respect you because you're sincere about it. But
thank you
let's
for that.
have a sincere disagreement. I mean, let's take Bill Clinton, okay?
Sure.
I'm a conservative, and I love Bill Clinton. I couldn't care less what he did with Monica Lewinsky. I think he was one of the good presidents. So let's have an honest debate.
But let me rephrase that then, Jim. Let's just take Bill Clinton as the example. What if it came out that Bill Clinton had said to Monica Lewinsky, "You're going to do this if you want to keep your job"?
Well, that's against the law, and he has to be punished. But
I would agree with you.
If it was based,
I would agree with you. But the Republican base wouldn't agree with you if he was a Republican.
I don't agree with bias on both sides of the aisle. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay.
If Bill Clinton consented,
but see, I'm saying that the bias is different on both sides of the aisle, and I'm trying to figure out why. Jim, thank you for the call.